Now that you're sitting comfortably, I shall begin. How long did it take you to learn how to do it?
It took me about 6 months before I was at the point where I could start doing Solomon's magic with a goetic mirror.
And it's a form of worship?
Yes, it is. It's my way of worshiping God.
We see the pagan gods and goddesses as personifications of forces of nature. And so we have a whole plethora of entities, and even down into the elements, where we have the gnomes and the earth, and we have the sylphs in the air, and we have the undines in the water, and then we have the salamanders in the fire. So we personify all of the elements and everything. We have a little entity of some kind or another, or a big entity for everything. Solomonic ceremonial magic is basically can be broken down into two divisions. The invocation of the angels, the holy angels, to protect you and inspire you and fill you with the power of God, and then when you've got that mastered, then you set up the dark mirror and the triangle, and then you go for what some people would refer to as the demons. But you use that angelic power, which you've already acquired through the crystal ball in the center of the circle and on the altar, and you've got the power of those angels to control the demons that you evoke. You evoke them out of your deep mind. And so Solomonic magic, all the way from back in the Middle Ages, can be broken down into those two facets.
Tell me the procedure we're going to go through tonight, just what you're going to do, what we're going to see.
What you're going to see is the evocation stage of Solomon's magic. This is the advanced stage after you have gone through the series of angelic invocations, which we're not going to specifically do tonight. They've already been done. We've got the angels already inside us and on our side, but we are going to invoke those angels with a pentagram ritual. Mike's going to do that, Father Solomon. He's going to invoke the angels of the pentagram ritual. Then I'm going to open up the psychic centers, because we are, as far as I know, we are the only lodge in the West that has a full operating system of chakras. We have all the planets and the spheres of the Kabbalistic tree of life right in one straight line. So we operate that way. So we're going to have a ritual after Mike does his pentagram ritual and establishes these four angels that we're talking about and gets them to protect us and cast the circle. Then I'm going to open up the particular sphere that we're working in, the lunar sphere. Then from there we're going to go on up to the sphere of Jupiter. And then we're going to circumambulate around the circle, the magic circle, clockwise, sunwise. And then we're going to get on that mirror, and Mike is going to be staring into the mirror, and I'm going to sit behind him as the magus, and I'm going to conjure, and he will go into a trance. We'll both be in a trance, actually.
Before I'll ever do an operation, I usually know what spirit I'm going to do, and my mindset will already begin to be geared towards that spirit, and I'll already be interacting with the energies of that spirit. And then by the time I do the operation, the spiritual energies from that spirit will actually come inside of me, to the point that I'll be able to look in that mirror, and my reflection will actually morph into the spirit that I'm having a conversation with.
His reflection blanks out, and as I'm conjuring, then what comes back in is going to be the spirit.
What does it feel like? Are you aware of what's happening, or are you in a total trance? Can you remember what's happened?
I am aware of what is happening, but there is somewhat of a transformation that does occur. So what's inside of me isn't really what's me speaking. It's these ideas that are pouring through me from a foreign energy. And these foreign energies will begin to express themselves in their own unique ways that I'll eventually realize are not my own thoughts.
When we videotaped the actual summoning of the spirit in the temple, there were no rehearsals and no retakes. So what you're about to see is real, shown exactly as it happened. And in my professional opinion, it's one of the most remarkable documentations of a supernatural event ever recorded.
Lies in the book of spells.